You know how, like, all of my videos I'm trying to teach you guys to, like, do your own homework and do your research before you do stuff and when you're doing stuff. And I kind of sort of, like, jumped the gun and didn't really follow my own advice when it came to the thistles. Yeah, so my little experiment didn't go the way that I had hoped. All right, you guys. So, anybody who knows me knows that, well, I'm a little bit environmentally conscious. I'm not some, big giant tree hugger or anything, but I do believe that we are supposed to be good stewards of the planet that we inherited and pass it on better than what we found it. And sometimes, people make mistakes. And I'm no exception. I feel like I'm kind of messing up with these thistles. If you guys saw the last video, I have been digging them up. I have been putting the dead ones that I dug up into buckets of water. I didn't show in the last video, but I actually have 2 5-gallon buckets where I sunk a bunch of them and held them down with bricks, and I've been fermenting them now for like a week or so. They got a couple more weeks to go before I can safely put them on my compost. So that little experiment's working. However, I'm not too happy with the vinegar one. The vinegar, if any of you guys have ever tried the 30 to 40% vinegar with salt and dish soap and essential oils trick to kill weeds, you know that it works. However, I think that it's probably best used in like very small areas. One, because it's really stinky and kind of dangerous to your skin, and you have to wear a mask and gloves and all that kind of stuff to do it. And two, it takes like a long time to spray enough stuff on it to kill a plant. So I'm thinking that it's probably best suited for like cracks in sidewalks and things that are really, really nasty, like poison oak or something like that you don't want your kids touching or something. The reason why I say that is because it took me a long time just to do the small patch that I did. And trust me, it now, after a couple of days, it looks like thistle apocalypse over there. And in the course of doing this, I was literally like watching like these bugs, like these little beetles falling off of the thistles. And I was just like, oh, okay, this is kind of weird. And I'm like feeling bad because I don't like killing stuff. I really just don't. I don't like killing plants. I don't like killing anything. I know that it's necessary, but I was just going to go out there to control the thistles. I wasn't trying to kill like little bugs and animals, right? Most of the time when I mess with thistles, there's nothing on them. Nothing likes them. Sometimes bees and butterflies will come and pollinate the flowers, but for the most part, my entire life, I have never seen anything besides maybe a donkey or even human beings eat these suckers, okay? Well, lo and behold, I guess there is a bug for everything, because there are these little bugs that were eating these things, and they are basically what they call, I had to look them up because I'd never seen them before. They're called thistlehead weevils. And what they do is they go into the flower head as it's developing, and they mate and they eat, and then they lay eggs, and then the larva, when that larva hatches, eats the plant, and it eats mostly the flower head so that it can't make seeds. And when all of this stuff is happening, it also attracts ants, and ants will come and help take care of the eggs until they're mature, which is really odd. And so the little larvae end up eating the plant, and I'm sure the ants have some sort of ulterior motive, because I don't know if most of you know, but ants are kind of farmers, and they like to farm aphids and other bugs so that they can use them for their own purposes. So they're probably using them for some type of food. However, they usually leave enough to where after a while, these beetles literally wipe out the thistles. And there's like a lot of like controversy over this that I've read, especially up north by Canada and in Canada, because these bugs, they released them back in the 70s and 80s, and they killed too many thistles, they started killing native thistles and things like that. And the same thing happened in Australia. Well, here in California, most of the thistles that we have are very invasive, and they've already pretty much crowded out all the native stuff. And so what we have is like just annoying crap that we don't want, that got here some way, somehow, on people's shoes, or people brought them here or whatever. And most of what we have are really prickly things like star thistle. And if you guys have ever seen star thistle, it's awful. It's got like thorns that are like needles that are like that long on it, and they're just crazy. So they release these bugs to mostly kill the star thistle, and it also kills the other thistles, like bowl thistle and milk thistle and all that kind of stuff. Well, we've got like a ton of this milk thistle stuff that it never gets, like, the seed heads never get big enough to even use for medicinal purposes or anything, because I thought maybe it would be a good thing, but it turns out that this thistle, all it does is kill off all of our other native plants, because it just crowds them out, and there's like no diversity or anything over there. And on top of that, they're prickly and they're annoying, and we just don't want them. And so I was going to go kill them all, and then I find these bugs. So now I'm kind of at this impasse where, do I just go out there and weed eat and hopefully don't kill all these bugs that might be helping? Or should I just leave this thing alone? So I'm just kind of like thinking about it before I do anything else. I'll keep you guys updated on it. But yeah, just so you know, like, just trying to take care of a piece of property ends up, being really hard. And then, like, you might end up making some mistakes. Like when I lived in Wisconsin, I made a huge mistake. When we bought our house, there were these like paper wasp nests on our house, and they were this kind that are called umbrella wasp, and they don't make the big round classic hornet's nest looking thing. Their little paper nest almost looks like a little umbrella, and it's probably maybe 4 inches across and like 2 inches thick. And then when that one fills up, they make another one. Well, there was a whole bunch of these on my house, and I'm thinking, why did the people that own it before me not get rid of these things? Well, come to find out, there was a good reason. They looked ugly on the house, but they actually served a really good purpose. These wasps that lived in these little things would go around and eat the larvae of these really mean, horrible flies that are like horse flies on steroids that they have in the Midwest that are called black flies. Well, when we killed all the wasps and got rid of their nests, for years after that, we had a horrible infestation of these black flies, and they would attack you like big time. And once one of them bit you, that was it. You couldn't wash whatever it was off, like the pheromones or whatever it is that they put in you, off of you, because all their friends would say, oh, that must be a piece of meat for me to eat. And so they would come and like, get you like every time you went outside. And so, like, if I didn't have dreadlocks at the time, my back would have been like just totally this like eaten up. And so I started researching, trying to figure out how to get rid of these things like naturally, and because you can't catch them, they're really fast too. And where they live, and like how to basically mitigate them and prevent them from happening. And then I find out that these wasps are like the best thing ever to get rid of these flies. So it's kind of like, I just hate messing with Mother Nature. I really do, because you just don't know what you're going to do. And so now I'm thinking, okay, I'm out here and I'm spraying this stuff and I'm killing these poor little bugs who are probably out there to help me, help me kill all these stupid thistles that are in my yard that I don't want. So, yeah, and I read some of the research that UC Davis put out about how these bugs killed pretty much all of the star thistle in the area that they decided to release them on and study. So I'm thinking, and this, within less than a year. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I should just leave these guys alone. It's kind of in an area that we're not using right now. It just was getting too close to the house, and I'm thinking, I don't want a bunch of thistles close to the house. So, yeah. So that's where we're at with that. I just wanted to put that out for you guys to show you, what's going on. And also, it's, just maybe a lesson to you. Especially if you're first starting out in a new place. I haven't gardened in a long time, and I haven't, literally, I haven't grown anything at this, altitude or elevation, I should say, in this area of this county. So I have no idea really what to expect. We're basically like right on the edge of two different like microclimates from what I can tell. We're like kind of the lower elevation and then starting to get to alpine. So it's really going to be interesting. I'm going to have a lot of education trying to figure out how to grow food here. But anyway, it's luckily we're not in the alpine and it's not that high up. And we do have a longer growing season, which makes it nicer, because I've noticed that it doesn't really start getting too bad until like October at night, maybe even further into November. So we do have that. And also, you know, there's also something called plastic, which I have a whole bunch of. So if I have to extend a growing season, I can. But yeah, it's just interesting. Every place that I've ever lived and I've tried to garden, it's like I have to start all over from square one and relearn everything because it's always different. And now because the weather's changing all the time and the climate is different, it's like that anyway, no matter what. It's everywhere you live. So yeah, just make sure you guys get your soil really healthy. Try your best, and if you find something that might actually help you in nature, let it help you. All right, you guys, hopefully you enjoyed this one. I'll just keep you guys updated on my thistle apocalypse. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys have done, if you've had to battle thistles and all these other like nasty things. Did you just kind of let nature take its course, or did you go in there and just like kill it with Roundup? Did you, you know, mow it down with a weed eater? Let me know in the comments. I'd like to hear all you guys' stories. All right. I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one. Bye. What, kitty? What's your deal? What's the matter? Why are you crying? What's the matter? Well, you're just full of it today.